Councillors, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Councillor Lloyd Phillips.
Welcome back, Acting Speaker. You can stay.
We love you. Thank you, councillors. You may be seated. Councillors, before we commence, we're just trying to confirm quorum before we officially open the meeting. Councillor Christians?
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Acting Speaker, the applause you got when you walked in was because yesterday you actually listened to us, and that's why we had a smooth council. But unfortunately, the practice in this House is actually causing us to have illegitimate meetings. The meeting is scheduled to start at 10 o'clock. The rules is quite clear that 10 minutes before the start of the meeting, councillors must be seated, which most were not. It is now 21 minutes past 10, and we're checking for quorum. Quorum needs to be checked at 10 o'clock. You are then allowed 20 minutes to see whether you have a quorum thereafter, not at 20 past start to check for quorum. So, Speaker, I plead to you, going forward, let us adhere to our rules so that our meetings are constituted properly. Thank you.
Councillor Christians, your concerns are noted. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. Please take your seats, councillors. We are about to commence. In terms of the numbers, we have counted 163 councillors. We will get an update as soon as we can, because there are councillors that came after this tally. Councillor Rainton. Thank you. Please, can we have the speakers list circulated? Thank you, thank you. Councillors, we're just waiting for the speakers list to be circulated to everyone, and then we will proceed. Councillor Boer.
Good morning, Acting Speaker. Councillors, welcome this morning. Normally we use this time to hand out compliments to the actual speaker, but as she's not here, we're not going to give you the compliments that she always gets. But I want to raise this morning as a Christian, and I want to make use of this opportunity to give my concern, discomfort, and even condemnation on the video that is spread on social media from the leader of the EFF. I believe in the Lord Jesus as my personal Savior, and what Honorable Malema does, discrediting my Lord, saying that he is Jesus, I think it is a total disgrace, and I want the EFF caucus to brief this message over to him, that he cannot speak about the Lord as he is doing. There are two examples in the Bible where kings are punished by the Lord for using his name, and I want this to be mentioned in council. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Boer. I have allowed you to conclude because of the sensitive nature of what you have raised. However, it is important to inform you that this House has set a precedent that we will not be dealing with issues in the media that we see in the media in this council. And we also do not have a Julius Malema in the council. But I appreciate your sentiments. Thank you.
Speaker.
And we have never entertained anything that we have.
Councillors, we have not yet officially opened, but let me indulge you. I see there's a hand and then followed by Councillor Benjamin. Yes. Proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. I think I'd really want to know that because now Councillor Boer is raising something very interesting. And the Jesus that he's talking about, many of us are still waiting for.
Councillor?
What if what he knows as Mr. Malema today is actually Jesus? How does he know?
Councillor, I have to mute you right now because I have just addressed that situation. I have just addressed it. Please don't take us back. Councillor Benjamin?
I'd like to be helped, Speaker. I'd like to be helped. Maybe Councillor Boer knows something that we don't know, and I'd really want to be empowered in that fact.
I hear you,
How does it?
and I just made mention that we are not going to be entertaining issues that is found in the media.
Yeah.
in this council. We will not be entertaining that. And that is what I have just told Councillor Boer, that we will not entertain issues that comes from the media into this council. And also, there is no Julius Malema in this council as a council. There's no Councillor Julius Malema here. So please let us not create unnecessary discourse. It's quite early, and we still have the whole day ahead of us. Please, can we work together? Thank you. Councillor Benjamin, I've noted you, Councillor Rasaruti.
Morning, Speaker. Thank you very much. I just thought that while we're busy waiting for numbers, that we can wish Councillor Bongani Nkomo a happy birthday.
Thanks, Councillor Benjamin. I believe you are covered. There was a councillor in the back that raised her hand. Yes, please proceed, Councillor. Oh, apologies.
Thank you,
Councillor,
Speaker.
Sorry, I just missed Councillor Rasaruti, and then you'll follow. Is that fine? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Speaker. I just wanted to close that one of mentioning the name of my president here. Whereas my president is not here, can we just for once respect each other, Speaker, and avoid such things? This thing of opening a can of worms is not going to help us in this council. Let's respect each other, good people. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Rasaruti, and I do concur with you. Let us not create unnecessary discourse. Councillor, you may proceed.
Thank you, Acting Speaker.
Please, can you
Councillor
switch off the
Horwitz.
mic, Councillor Rasaruti, so that the next councillor can proceed?
Thank you, Acting Speaker. It's Councillor Horwitz for the Democratic Alliance. I'd just like to say, Acting Speaker, that you are looking very dapper today. I don't see why we can only compliment ladies. I think men also deserve a round of applause if they have put themselves together so lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ford. I'm humbled by your statement. Thank you. Councillors, we are ready to proceed with the official proceedings of council. I see your hand, Councillor, and I would really like to get on with the business of the day. Let me indulge you, provided that you will be short.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, thank you for presiding over this council yesterday. You've done really well. Can I ask you to do the same today? And if we do, we need to hurry up. If you can do it until 5, if we can be out here by 5. If we're not, the executive mayor of Tshwane will be here, Councillor Makubele, and we don't want her here. So let's get the council done by 5, please. You're doing very well. Let's keep it that way. Thank you.
Noted. Your sentiments are noted. Thank you. Councillors, please take your seats so that we can proceed. This will be the last hand. We need to really move. No, I'm taking this last hand now, and then we proceed.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. I thought you were going to give direction. You can't note that, Speaker. We don't have an executive mayor of Tshwane called Councillor Makubele. Councillor Colin Makubele is ours. He's from Joburg. So you can't note it. He must withdraw.
Noted. I note what you've raised, Councillor, and I was just basically harboring on the fact that the councillor requested that, if possible, can we finish by 5? That is what rings to me, you know. All of the other sentiments or comments really has no substance, so it's covered. Let me give Action SA. Yes, please proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, as Action SA would like to wish our very own councillor here, Councillor Neft, a very special birthday and happy birthday to you. to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Councillor. Happy birthday to you.
Councillors, thank you. Minute. Councillors, can we just maintain order? Councillor Benjamin, I hope you note that you have set a certain precedent, and it is not going to be allowed going forward, because as the speaker or acting speaker, birthdays are announced and we collectively wish everybody a happy birthday. Let us not consume the time of council to be wishing people a happy birthday individually. Councillors, that being said, at this point, I would request all of us to just rise for a moment of silence as we go in the order of business for the day. Thank you. Thank you, councillors. You may be seated. Executive Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Councillor Tapelo Ahmad, Whip of Council, Councillor Zungu, all political party leaders and whips, members of the Mayoral Committee, chairpersons of the Section 79 committees, fellow councillors, City Manager, Mr. Floyd Brink, Acting Secretary to Council, Mr. Andile Gobinga, officials of the City of Johannesburg, residents of the City of Johannesburg, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to the 12th Ordinary Council meeting of the City of Johannesburg, which is a continuation of yesterday's proceedings. Also note that the executive and legislative reports has been tabled, and we shall then continue from item 61. Thank you. Acting Secretary to Council. Councillors, there is a mic that is on. Can we please switch that mic off so that we can allow the next speaker to speak? Thank you.
Morning, councillors. We are now on item 2, which is application for leave of absence.
Thank you. Are there any leave of absence today? Councillor Dami?
Morning, Speaker. Thank you. Speaker, I've got Councillor Mungameli Munyamini. If we are not done by 3 o'clock, he need to be excused due to ill health. I've got Councillor Mofukeng, commitment in the ward. I've got Councillor Dami. If we are not done by 4, need to be excused due to ill health. Thank you.
LOAs today, Councillor Shaw, Councillor Shabalala, Councillor Brand, Councillor Trulak, and Councillor Romaro. We have late arrivals from Councillor Murray and Councillor Steer, and we have early leaving, Councillor Sherman, Councillor Echezonjuko, most of our Muslim caucus, if we're not done by sundown, and Councillor van der Merwe. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Smith. Councillor Rafferty.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. MMC Kunene is running late. Riavaya buses are on strike, just so that councillors also know roads are blocked off in Soweto.
Thank you, Councillor Rafferty. Councillor van der Schie-
Councillor Liebenberg.
Thank you so much for assisting me there. I really
For
can't see
action,
from
no
here.
problem.
Please proceed.
For Action SA, Councillor Genevieve Durant will be late. She will only be here for motions. And Councillor Whistler needs to leave early today.
Noted. Councillor Zita, is it? I can't see, no. it's not-
Councillor Mukhapi.
Yes, please proceed.
Morning, councillors. Apologies for the EFF. It's Councillor Ndwele, ill health. Tlapo, ill health. Mulala, family responsibility. Mpahlela, family responsibility. Councillor Mulife, ill health. MMC Makafula will leave early around 4 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, noted. Councillor Makuba.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. Before I do the leave of absence for today or early leaving, I just want to raise a concern that we have submitted a leave of absence memo to the Speaker's office for yesterday, but I'm told that it was not noted in Council. If you could please check that for us. For today, Councillor Tim Kize will leave at 12. Ward business, as he's a ward councillor. And Councillor Kanyile and Councillor Nkomo will leave at 4. There's some party responsibilities that they have to see to. And Councillor Mabaso will leave at 5. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Makuba. And yes, Councillor Makuba, you are quite correct. There was an omission of apologies that has been submitted by the IFP caucus via email yesterday. Unfortunately, by the time we were doing apologies, I had not had that at my disposal. I do not know where the hold-up or blockage was, but it was emailed timeously and will reflect in the minutes. Thank you. Councillor Abdul?
Good morning, Acting Speaker, competent, handsome, well-dressed, competent Speaker. It is such a pity that I have to leave earlier today because of family emergency, but please note that. And good morning, fellow public servants.
Noted. Councillor Liebenberg?
Thank you, Speaker. Apologies. I also need to just need it to be noted on the minutes that Councillor Jainuddin will also be leaving before sundown.
Okay, noted. Any other apologies? Leave of absence? Councillors, is the application for leave of absence agreed to? Councillor Dews?
Good morning, fellow councillors, and to you, Acting Speaker. I just want to ask the House to note that we haven't had an apology or leave of absence from our Honourable Speaker. Yesterday, the leave of absence was due to ill health, but we saw she was very active in Tshwane. So I just want to know how do we deal with that specific issue. Thanks, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Dews. I think it is important to inform you, Councillor Dews, and the rest of the councillors in the House that the Speaker has officially been booked off until the 10th of April. Now, that does not necessarily equate to having to be bedridden until the 10th of April. So what happens during that time, I cannot account for. What I can account for is that it has no bearing on the business of the day since I am here today. But I did make mention of our apology yesterday. Thank you. Councillor De Rocha?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I need to ask a question. Is there a possibility that the Speaker could stay on forever and you could take over? Thank you.
I don't think that's an appropriate question for me to respond to at this point. Thank you, Councillor De Rocha. Councillors, I've noted that we have agreed to the apologies. Was that a hand? Oh, covered. Thank you. Acting Secretary to Council.
We're on item 3, which is recommendations to Council.
Okay, so as far as the recommendations to Council are concerned, they were tabled yesterday by the Executive Mayor and also by the Chairperson of OCOL on behalf of the Chair of Chairs, and we will continue from that point. Just a brief update in terms of the numbers. We are currently 239 councillors present in the chamber. And we can proceed. Acting Secretary to Council.
Yes. We're starting off with item 61, which is a second quarter report of the oversight activities of the Petition Standing Committee for the period October to December 2022.
That's the member in charge, Councillor Mabuke. Please proceed.
Acting Speaker, Executive Mayor and his cabinet, the leader of ANC caucus, Councillor Dadamrero, Whip of Council, Councillor Zungu, all chairs of committees, fellow councillors, officials of the city, and Joburg residents, Machi Road. Acting Speaker, on behalf of the committee, I hereby table item 61, the second quarter activity report of the Section 79 Petition Standing Committee. The report is a record of committee activities in the said period, October to December 2022, and 29 progress report from our first extraordinary committee meeting held on the 14th November 2022. Acting Speaker, the committee managed to close 13 petitions in that quarter. The item is for noting by the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mabuke. Councillor Mkonto.
Thank you, Acting Speaker, Executive Mayor in his absentia. Let me also congratulate our PC Chair of the Grand Members, the Marvelous 44, Councillor Mfuzi Ngobe. And greetings to all caucus leaders of all different political parties. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to speak on petitions oversight reports and petitions in general. However, Mr. Speaker, let me first indicate that the petitions are the most resolution taken by committees and residents to voice out their concern with regard to poor service delivery. Mr. Speaker, in this second quarter report, the Petitions Committee received 29 new petitions and only managed to close 13, as the committee chairs alluded. Mr. Speaker, the committee welcomes the fact that the Speaker's office has undertaken to assist the special project to resolve the petitions backlog. The stats for the quarter illustrate that the Petitions Committee is understaffed, and the long song that the Petitions Committee has been singing for the past terms has not been heard despite the promise that has been made years back to increase the staff members of the petition unit. Mr. Speaker, why I'm saying so, let me say I'm thankful to see that the petitions we've got now, Councillor, the MMC, Masuku, who will then be overlooking other petitions, of which, for me, it gives us as a petition committee a great pleasure that we're sitting now in the petitions pool, Mr. Speaker, over about 2,510 petitions since 2012. I think by then, the former mayor was paxed out. And I'm now in the third term. I've been sitting on that petition committee since from 2011. I wonder why we still have petitions ranging back from 2012 up to date. Petitions that need to be taken care of. Mr. Speaker, having said that, let us bear in mind that petitions are the last voice which the residents can raise concerning the issue of service delivery which they are encountering. Failure for the city to resolve them in time will eventually create disgruntlement whereby the outcome of such becomes unlawful violent protest. We have been witnessing that as councillors around the city of Johannesburg. Mr. Speaker, the oversight visit for petition P43/0819 and petition 191/0218, the petitions committee undertook need to be urgently attended to by the department responsible. Mr. Speaker, we are currently having a backlog, as I mentioned earlier on. The petition pool dated back as 2012, which is 11 years back. It is unbelievable that we can have that. MMC Masuku, it will be appreciated if the staff from the petition unit can be increased. We need to see the follow-up done for those petitions that have been sitting in the petition pool to find out. Some of them, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, I don't think they still know whether they petitioned the city for the certain issue that they wanted. Some of them might have been relocated to other areas. Unfortunately, some of them might have been passed over. But we're still sitting with that petitions in the pool. Is the petition unit being taken serious by the city of Johannesburg? I think so. It could
30
be.
seconds.
For the past years, that is not taken through. Well, Mr. Speaker, for the respect of time, in closing, let me say that what is preventing the city to increase the staff personnel in petition unit to assist the dealing with the backlog of petitions? The past term of office from the petition, we have been asking for additional staff. It seems as if remains as challenges. That is the challenge of the committee. In conclusion, Mr. Speaker, let me say this. Let us not put political intolerance aside and do the right thing, which is to resolve all petitions received by the city. I thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mpefu.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Greetings to the Honorable Mayor of the City of Johannesburg, Acting Speaker of Council, fellow colleagues, to the media and the guests sitting in the gallery, our residents watching from home, officials of the City of Joburg. I greet you one and all. Dumelang Abusheni Ndima Cheloni. Speaker, I wanted to congratulate you for yesterday's meeting, but I see you're already tired of getting the applause. But thank you so much for the effectiveness and efficiency of how you ran the meeting. That's it. Really suits you. If you'd like, we can speak to our colleagues in Tshwane to create space for you-know-who. Speaker, I rise to speak on item 61, second quarter report on the oversight activities of the Petition Standing Committee for the period October to December 2022. Speaker, starting with the on-committee meetings. We had only one standing committee meeting on 14 November 2022. We are not having meetings according to the approved council calendar, and this is a serious concern. We are one of those committees that still has not had their strategic sessions, and we are exactly 16 months into our term of office. It's known by everyone that petitions is in a serious backlog, and this current behavior of cancelling and postponing meetings will not help us at all but push us further into this backlog. We seem to be having quarterly meetings, Speaker, as this committee instead of monthly or as regular meetings as possible in order to address the backlog as well as the new petitions being received. Speaker, I'm almost tempted to actually give an explanation of what reports means and progress report means. And you'll understand why I actually do this. Reports, to give a report is to give a spoken or written account of something that one has observed, heard, done, or investigated, with emphasis on the word investigated. Now, when we get to progress report, it is to report on the updated information about a project. Speaker, I'm highlighting these things because I have serious concerns about the kind of reports that we're getting in petitions committee. And I need to also make an example. A petition was submitted to City of Joburg on July 2012 by a resident of Helen Joseph Women's Hostel on behalf of the residents of the hostel. A progress report was brought to Section 79 Petitions Committee and alluded to the fact that the requests made by the petitioner had been fulfilled, and a closure form was also attached to the committee to support and close the petition. Now, there were concerns with the closure form, and this led to the refusal of the petition being closed and the request by the committee members to do an oversight. Now, the major objective of this oversight was to verify the fulfillment of requests that were made on the petition. I raised this before in the last speech in council and continue to raise it in our Section 79 committee meetings, and no one seems to pay attention to this or attempt to correct or support. And I've also heard apparently this one particular petition is hot potato. Hot potato. So there's something really going on in here that we really need to pay attention to. Helen Joseph Women Hostel. I'd like my colleagues to actually remember this. Still on progress reports, Speaker, the reports we received from the departments or the MEs are to serve as updates on the petitions that were referred to them. And the problem here is that these reports are meant to enable us as a committee to make informed decisions or on whether or not to close these petitions. I would like Council to note that this is now another problem we face as a committee. These reports push us even further back into the backlog, because when we go and do oversight, we realize that these reports are not a true reflection of what we see on the ground, and this is a serious, serious concern. Departments are conducting desktop exercises. They open and close petitions without any real work being done. Worse, they lie. I actually got in trouble for the word lie. I'll take it back and I'll say misrepresentation of the truth. They misrepresent the truth to the committee in these reports. And now we as a council face the danger of approving reports that are incorrect and therefore failing our residents. In fact, I think the committee would also agree with me that the closure forms are always missing some information. Either they are not signed by the lead petitioner or the relevant councillor, and almost never satisfied by the way the departments and the MEs have attended to the petitions. Speaker, I think we have a habit of coming to council and actually, let me just say, one of my colleagues outside was like, you're making a speech. It's actually pointless because these people never listen. And unfortunately, I agree to that statement because I hear most of the times colleagues in council, they listen to either respond or they listen to insult, And these are really simple things that I'm talking about. I did not give any fancy quotes and use any big words. It's just really simple things that need to be done here, you know, in order for us to fix what is happening in a petitions committee. I agree with my colleague that spoke before me. I think our chairperson of committee need to summon MMC Masuku and also the MMC of housing. They need to come to the petitions committee. They need to assist us with addressing these issues. We're sitting in a backlog with petitions as far back as 2012, and we're not going to resolve this issue as long as we keep on postponing meetings and cancelling meetings and, you know what, not holding the relevant departments accountable. And I'd like us to start, you know, with this first oversight meeting that we did with Helen Joseph Women Hostel. It's been months that we've been there, but nothing has changed. And when the report came through, they told us that, you know what the petitioner requested had been satisfied, and it wasn't. No one has gone back there, you know, and nothing has been done on this. And those people that are holding contracts, you know, that are said to be having contracts at Helen Joseph Women Hostel, they also need to be held accountable.
30 seconds.
And also the people, the employees, you know, of the city that are bringing these wrong reports, they need to also be held accountable. We're setting the wrong precedents here, and we are failing our residents. We, as the Democratic Alliance, we note this report. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mpefu.
Nice one, sister. Beautiful.
Councillor Mpaho.
I felt like I got whooped. You're just being it was very, very good. But I didn't see, you spoke from knowledge.
Councillors, please can you just check your mics if they are off so that we can allow the current speaker to speak?
Apologies, Speaker. You just heard our secrets now.
Thank you, Speaker. Let me first greet the Mayor of Johannesburg, Councillor Tapelo Ahmad, the leader of caucus, Councillor Dada Murero, Chief Whip of Councillors, Councillor Zungu, all MMCs, and all councillors of the city of Johannesburg. I'm surprised when Councillor Mpefu speak about the petition committee to say some of the petition members are failing them. But I'm surprised because our chair is only have 3 months. All along, there were the people who were having a petition committee. As the African National Congress, Councillor, we note the report with the following observation. Non-submission duly signed report and closure forms. Number 2, insufficient staff in the petition unit, growing of petition backlog, non-attendance to the 30 days turnaround times by department and MEs, non-attendance of PSC meeting by some PLOs, communication between the petition unit and some departments need to be improved as it compromises the performance of the. So as the African National Congress, we note the report. Thank you, Acting Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Mpaho. MMC Masuku. Councillors, can I kindly request that when you've concluded to speak, please switch off the mic so that we don't have the inconvenience of having to remind
Thank
you
you.
each time.
Thank you, Speaker. Good morning, Acting Speaker, Executive Mayor, MMCs, chairpersons of Section 79, fellow councillors, members in the gallery, as well as the Chief Whip of Council. Speaker, I note the input from different councillors, and I think it's a fair criticism that councillors are making on this committee, and a more concerted effort needs to be made to deal with the petitions, because I think all of us are here to make sure that we efficiently address the requests and grievances from our communities, because this is a mechanism for them to engage with government, and we should endeavor at all times to do this timelessly. I have already requested a way that I think we can try and deal, especially with both Councillor Mkonto and Councillor Mpefo's issues that they've raised, so that we at least convene a meeting with the relevant MMCs that the backlog list is with, as well as the EDs, because as much as we can be sitting at 2,510, there are more submissions that come in, and the petitions continue to grow because of the challenges in different communities. So, Councillor Mkonto, Councillor Pefo, and Chairperson Mabuke, I am committing that I am going to make this a priority. I have heard you, and we take the counsel from your good selves to say that let's just put politics aside and make an effort to resolve the petitions that come through to the city. And I know the issue of Helen Joseph Women's Hostel that you are speaking about, as well as the other hot potato. And I am committing to this council that I will endeavor to do this, this meeting in the next quarter. We will be able to have a different report in terms of how we have managed to deal with the petitions as raised in council. The report, Acting Speaker, is for information, and we do ask council to note. Thank you.
Thank you, MMC. The member in charge, Councillor Mabuke.
Acting Speaker, I think it's important to clarify the House regarding the postponement of the meeting, because the Bible says, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." When we postponed the meeting, it's when there was a political changes and the reports were not signed. And we cannot have a meeting while the reports were not signed. So that is the truth. Noting all the contribution from my colleagues, I therefore request council to note the report.
Thank you, Councillor Mabuke. Councillors, the report is for noting. Do we note the report? Thank you.
The next item is item 62, which are terms of reference for Section 79 Transport Committee.
Member in charge, Councillor Ndlela.
Thank you, Acting Speaker, and good morning to you, to our Executive Mayor, the Whip of Council, all the chairperson of Section 17 committees, the leader of the ANC caucus, Councillor Dada Morero, and fellow councillors. I rise to table item 629 committee as resolved during the strategic planning session that took place from the 21st to the 22nd of September 22. The committee considered and deliberated on its terms of reference and resolved that item C5 be removed from terms of reference since it is covered in Rule 126 of Standing Rules and Orders of Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Komane?
Thank you, Speaker Muruo wa naga ya rena, led by our capable Spetel Raserute. Speaker, a ke dumedise a ke bolele ka magodu a naga le leruo la borena la borrawešo a bona madume ba tseba ba fumana kae Stellenbosch kwa. Seswana se re tau tša hloka seboka na ore bobedi bo bolaya noga. So, Speaker, ntoye re invite ma-Africa ka moka gore a tle re thušaneng re lwe ntoye gore re tle re kgone go e fenya. Ke emelela mo ke tlo bolela ka item noting that no financial implications are associated with this report. And number 2, terms of reference are compliant with the rules and applicable legislations. The Economic Freedom Fighters approves the amended terms of reference. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Komane. Fortunately, I have interpretation, so at least I could understand what you were saying. Councillor Mokoka?
Thank you, Speaker. Greetings to the House. Action SA would like the House to approve the terms of reference. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Member in charge, Councillor Ndlela?
Thank you, Acting Speaker. The committee requests the Council to approve the terms of reference for this Section 79 Transport Committee. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, the recommendations is on page 62.2. I note your hand. Please proceed, Councillor Dagama.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. Just on the amendment part, can we just get clarity on it? Because I believe that the chairperson actually asked for an amendment, and I don't think that you've got that amendment in front of you. If we can just get clarity before we approve it. Thanks.
No, I think, Councillor Dagama, unless you can provide me with better clarity, because what I've understood from what the chairperson Lela has said, that's the amended report. So those amendments were probably considered during the developing of the TOR. So I'm not sure which amendments are you referring to. Maybe you can provide clarity.
She spoke on an amendment. Can she please just clarify that? What it was? What was the amendment on the report?
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor, there's another hand, Councillor Marema.
No, man, Acting Speaker, I wanted to assist Councillor Dagama there, that the amendment that he speaks of are in front of him in the report that he's supposed to read. So, and I do not want to say he's exposing himself, but surely he's repeatedly exposing himself that he's not reading these reports. The amendments are there in that report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Marema. And I believe that is what the chairperson said. And now you are requesting for the chairperson to read the amendment, or where it is in front of you?
Chairperson, the chairperson actually spoke about an amendment. I want clarity on what she amended.
No, thank you.
It
thank you,
wasn't
Councillor.
clear.
Thank you, Councillor. I would then suggest that you read the reports. The amendment is in the pack. So then I would suggest that you read that amendment so that you are clear. You receive the clarity that you desire. Thank you. Councillors, just to pick up again, I have actually indicated that the recommendations are on pages 62.2. Is the item agreed to? Thank you.
We move to item 63, which are terms of reference of the Section 79 Group Corporate and Shared Services Committee.
The member in charge, Councillor Rapadu.
Greetings, Speaker. Greetings, esteemed councillors, CM, Mr. Floyd Brink, the leader of the African National Congress caucus, Mr. Dada Morero, Chief Whip, Babu Zungu, DCW of the ANC, Me Brenda Dame, all chairpersons of Section 79 committees. Speaker, I rise to table the terms of reference of the Section 79 Group Corporate and Shared Services Committee as adopted at the strategic session held at the Joburg Zoo on the 27th and the 28th of February 2023. I table the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rapadu. Councillor Ngwenya.
Greetings and thank you, Speaker, or Acting Speaker, and highest appreciation and acknowledgement to the leader of EFF in the Joburg region, Spetlele Raserute, and the fellow councillors. We stand as EFF with an approval of the item and with happiness, because such seeks to ensure that officials are held accountable, so that the community of City of Johannesburg can get a service delivery which they've been long waiting for. This goes in hand with the 7 non-negotiable pillars of EFF, where we stipulate that open, accountable, corrupt-free government and society without fear of victimization by the state agencies. With that being said, we approve. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Ngwenya. Councillor Francisco. Councillor Francisco.
Thank you, Speaker. As Section 79 of Shared Services
the ANC note the report.
Thank you, Councillor. Member in charge, Councillor Rapado.
Speaker, let me more importantly acknowledge the members of the committee for their hard work and dedication to serving the residents of the city of Johannesburg. Let me thank the support staff for organizing this long-awaited strategic session, albeit that it will only last for the next 2 months as we are going to the next strategic sessions in July. Chair of Chairs, Acting Speaker. So we are pleased that at least we've got direction on how to proceed as the committee to discharge our role in doing proper oversight over this committee. And I note and move for the adoption of the report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Rapado. Councillors, the recommendation, is the item agreed to? Thank you.
Item 64 are terms of reference for the Section 79 Housing Committee.
Member in charge, Councillor Mpolobosho.
Thank you very much, Speaker, Acting Speaker. 79 committees to table item 64. For terms of reference to council for consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Nenemba.
Thank you very much, Speaker. We, as the EFF caucus, we approve the terms of reference for Section 79 committee, the change of name from housing to human settlement. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Nenemba. Councillor Christians.
Thank you, Speaker, and good morning to everybody once again. Speaker, I thought when the chairperson was going to stand up and speak, he would highlight certain things because there were amendments made to the existing terms of reference, but he did not. All he asked for was that the amended terms of reference be approved. Firstly, Speaker, it's sad that while we talk about human settlements, we are not actually forwarding the proper information. Because ultimately, the terms of reference should show us what the committee is going to be doing, not the department. So in point 3 of the summary, it talks of a change of name of the department. It's not the change of name of department that we deliberated on, Speaker. It is the terms of reference of the committee, which was called the housing. This House had already approved a change of name of the department. And that is why we had to go in line with the recommendation of this council to change from housing to human settlement. So the report is completely wrong there. Fortunately, Speaker, while the chairperson could not provide us with an amended terms of reference, the committee came together and we showed him the direction. And that is why the terms of reference was not only amended with the change of name, but if you look at it, it was also in terms of clause A1, and I'll get to that now because I have to swap screens, which talks to A11. The regional said the consideration and oversight of the development.
There is a hand, kindly take your seat. Councillor Mhlongo.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think Councillor Christian is missing something here. when the chairperson of housing tables the terms of reference, he says with amendments. I don't know now, he's just repeating what is in the report in front of him. Why is he keeping on reporting? Because the terms of reference, as the committee adopted, are there on the report. But now he's just telling us something else. So maybe he wants to speak always here in the council. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Christians, please proceed.
Thank you, Chairperson. It's surprising that somebody who did not rise on a point of order says, I want to speak, when they just want to speak and don't understand what is being said. Speaker, the report says that there's only a change of name in the terms of reference, which is incorrect. Clause A11, the original said the consideration and oversight of the development of the IDP and budget in respect of the Housing Committee. The amendment is here that says the consideration and oversight of the process of the development of the IDP and budget in respect of the Human Settlements Department and its municipal-owned entities. So there are two changes. One is a blanket one, where housing has changed to human settlement, and the second one is where every committee should have looked at it, because no committee actually considers and does oversight of the development of the IDP. What they do is they consider and they do oversight of the process of the development of the IDP and budget. And that is the second amendment that was made. And that is what the report should reflect, which it's not. So if Councillor Mhlongo, through you, Chair, actually read the report, he would have noticed that there's inconsistencies. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Christians. Councillor Dlamini.
Greeting, Acting Speaker. Greetings to all the councillors of the city of Joburg. The mandate that I've actually been given by the ANC is to represent the ANC in this item by supporting the item whereby it talks of terms of reference for Section 79 of housing, human settlement. And therefore, we can't say much here in council because we had an ample time in Section 79. Thank you. Thank you, Acting Secretary.
Thank you, Councillor Dlamini. The member in charge, Councillor Mpolobosho.
Thank you very much, Speaker. On behalf of the committee, I ask the council to approve then the terms of reference of 1679 Committee of Women Settlement. And lastly, Speaker, I thought maybe Councillor Christian, he's been here for many years here. It's not the first time this terms of reference has been changed. I thought maybe then he come from one of the districts down there in Messina next to the Bed Bridge. Because of, sometimes you find that those of districts doesn't have, So I'm really disappointed because he's a member of the committee, but he's acting like, no, he's not a member of the committee. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. He was speaking to me. I'm sure all of us heard that he was referring to Councillor Christians as he is speaking, and if it was direct, it would have been, you are speaking, So let us not create unnecessary issues. Another thing that I also note as an area of concern, we cannot be bringing items here that's supposed to have been debated in Section 79 committees, and then we end up debating them here. That is an embarrassment on the committee. Because before these items comes to council, it gets approved by the committee to come to council. And now then we have these kinds of debates in council. Please council 79 committees where there is a platform to debate these matters. Thank you. The recommendations is on page 64.2. Is the item agreed to? Thank you.
Item 64, terms of reference for the Section 79 Economic Development Committee.
Thank you.
Sorry, that will be item 65, pardon me.
Thank you. Thanks for the correction. Councillor Christians, I note your hand before I proceed.
Thank you, Speaker. Speaker, the Democratic Alliance, in terms of item 64, approves the changes in the terms of reference. However, we cannot approve a report that is incorrect. And that's what my speech was about. So the report comes to council, it does not go to the committee. Thank you.
Noted, Councillor Christians. We are on item 65. Member in charge, Councillor Mhlongo.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. Good morning to the Executive Mayor, and good morning to you, Speaker and Mayoral Committee. Good morning to my fellow councillors, the city manager, together with the officials of the city of Joburg. Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of Section 79 Economic Development Committee to table terms of reference for the committee as adopted by the committee on the 16th of March. I thank you, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Telekwa.
Thank you very much. Lochani Speaker, Lochani Gumasocha, Ichumi Amabili na Toba, we EFF, awonganyelwe nguSpetlela Raserute, nososbepu wetu uThabisa Mogapi. Ngingakhohlwa nama MMC wetu amabili, umgcini Thwaku no Eni Makhafula. I rise on item 65, terms of reference, section 79, Economic Development Committee. The terms of reference include legislative roles, participatory and representative role, oversight role and recommendation to council. I still, even today, I still emphasize on revisiting the MOE's performance objectives. We have objective typical. We have a department called economic development, but I'm just giving that as an example, but there's many departments that are not, that are failing to achieve their goals. When you read the overview of the economic development, it tells us that the economic development is mandated to provide the strategic economic direction to the city and help steer the city as a whole towards the goal to achieve 5% economic growth. And obviously, as a result, reduce unemployment by 2021. Mind you, now it's 2023. You can clearly see that these departments are not taking themselves seriously or residents of Joburg seriously. I can ask a question, did they help Joburg achieve the economic growth? The answer will be, we don't know or no. So they also say their strategy emphasizes the shift to increase localization of production, replacing imports through getting firms in Joburg and SA to become competitive suppliers. And I don't remember, or I don't know how many companies or SMMEs that we have pushed to such a level. And also, they say the strategy is to emphasize is to increase connectivity with the rest of Africa through increased trade and investment links to the rest of Africa. And still, no one can show us that those companies that have been put into that position or helped or assisted. So I say to the MMC of Economic Development that EFF is here. We are well capable. We've been around. EFF will be able to assist on strategies to overhaul the departments. So, and as I said yesterday, this is not only about economic development, but it's other
20 seconds.
Departments and MOEs as well. So, yeah, I would like to finish here, and I thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Telekwa. Councillor Bolani.
Greetings, Speaker, Executive Mayor, Chief Whip of Council, Councillor Zungu, Leader of Caucus, Councillor Dada Morero, Revolutionary Councillors of the ANC. Speaker, I rise on item 65, terms of reference, section 79, Economic Development Committee. I would like to borrow a quote from John E. Stiglitz, open quote. Development is about transforming the lives of the people, not just transforming economies. Close quote. There are high levels of poverty and inequality in the city of Johannesburg for accessibility. The high levels of poverty and inequality in the city of Johannesburg, with a sum of 51.17%, which is 2.84 million, of the line as defined by Statistics South Africa. Income inequality in Johannesburg, there are stark contrasts between rich and poor income levels, living conditions, and access to services, resources, and opportunity. As the ANC targets of eliminating poverty, the Department of Economic Development is mandated to provide strategic and to facilitate the development of the city. Economic development is a very critical department when it comes to transforming lives. The department should give support to small, medium enterprises by empowering, developing, training, and on sustenance. It is of great importance that opportunity centers should be rolled out and accessible to the wards, because it is where people are found, not in regional offices. It is of great importance that opportunity centers should have roadshow and should also be a home of opportunity for all developing entrepreneurs. Most, if not all, opportunity centers are in remote areas. For example, in Region C, it's in Rodiport Civic Center in Florida. Very far away for unemployed youth and women. For example, people of Pramfisherville, Matole, Tepisong, Toronkop, Solplachi, Sunspreads, and Cosmo City. It's very difficult for them to access Isikalo Center. City of Johannesburg to review and assess its economic prowess and its importance as Africa's gateway. As a result, as the City of Johannesburg, we should strive to expand the growth. We feel the City of Johannesburg should double its effort in developing a comprehensive strategic program by explicitly identifying, developing, and promoting local economic development. Our main focus should be tackling the triple challenges of poverty, joblessness, and equality. But we believe with MMC minister at the helm of the department will fill its mandate of promoting entrepreneurship, innovation, enterprise growth, and competitiveness, which is critical in the growing the economy and creating jobs, development, and support micro, small, medium-sized entrepreneurs of the City of Johannesburg, which from the period that MMC was very incompetent, his only way to run away was to refuse to sign reports for the departments and entities. As in conclusion, Speaker, I would like to persuade the Council that we should try to find a way to assist the people of Palestine, as there is genocide in Jenin, genocide in Gaza, by the racist Zionist regime of Israel. Angibonge, Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Bolani. The member in charge, Councillor Mhlongo.
Speaker, I'd ask the council to adopt the terms of reference for Section 79 economic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, at this point, we are at item 66, and you will note that item 66 right up to item 76 are oversight reports. And there is a resolution, and we note these items. Thank you.
Item 66 is a GOD committee overseeing Street in Hillborough. Also read with item 68, which is an oversight visit of the Section 79 Public Safety Committee to the Dube Alcohol Evidence Center on the 7th of February 2023. Also with item 70, which is oversight visit of Section 79 Public Safety Committee at JMPD Academy on the 7th of February 2023. Also read with item 71, which is an unannounced oversight visit of the Section 79 Public Safety Committee to the Langlaagte Licensing Center on the 24th of January 2023. Also read with item 73, 2023, and also item 75, which is an oversight report of the Economic Development Section 79 Committee to the Eldorado Park and Coebo Opportunity Center and Harambe Youth Employment Accelerator on the 23rd of September 2022. And
thank you, Acting Secretary to Council. Councillors, the recommendations are on pages 66.4, 67.3, 68.3, 69.3, 70.3, 71.74.9 agreed to. Thank you.
item 77 is public
Both internal and external parties using the Microsoft Teams platform. That was done in September 2022. Ward councillors and representatives from different private organizations and the representation from the city's entities. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Councillor Ndlela. Councillor Lebote.
Morning, Speaker, Acting Speaker. It's actually Councillor Msehla that's going to speak on the item.
Noted.
Greeting, Acting Speaker. Greetings to the reliable and workaholic City Manager, Mr. Floyd Brink. Salutations to the Red Beret councillors under the leadership of both Chief Whip, Councillor Tabisa Mohapi, and Councillor Spetlele Rasuruti. Fellow councillors. Speaker, let me firstly salute the Red Beret for successfully forcing ESCOM to supply electricity for 5 consecutive days without interruption in the city of Johannesburg. Let's all salute the Red Beret for finally bringing JMPD, SAPS and SANDAF to your doorstep. For the first time since the Black Power uprising, I felt like I was in the 80s, under the state of emergency. Some officers of SANDAF were in the streets for the first time since they got employed by SANDAF in the past 20 years. Resources were suddenly available because some got threatened by the protest of the mighty EFF. Every street, every highway, every freeway, every ward, every township, every suburb and town in the city from Thursday the 13th to Tuesday, the 21st of March, 2023, all because of the commitment of the EFF to its people. Real freedom is coming. Speaker, I rise on item 77 about the way leave bylaw amendment. As the EFF, we still think and maintain that the public participation was not conducted properly, but was rushed because the city was only interested in ticking boxes. Speaker, interactions were held with various stakeholders such as ward committees, ward committee members, ward councillors, representatives from different private organizations, and representatives from the city's entities. But our black communities were left behind. Our PR councillors were left behind. It is mentioned that the awareness was also done through the print media, but it's not mentioning them. This thing of using BLT newspaper and Sunday Times that our people do not have access to or do not afford. Local radio stations were not used, local newspapers were not used, and there were no public meetings with residents for proper information sharing and inputs. The report is mentioning like email, Twitter, WhatsApp, team service on site, liability for damage, emergency way leave, application and backfilling, and reinstatement. The EFF, however, supports the recommendations in the report, but would like to urge the city to conduct public participation the traditional way. Our slogan is, nothing for us without us.
Councillor, your time has expired.
Omarte.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Acting Speaker, all protocol observed. I hereby rise to speak on item 77, which pertains to the adopting of a new bylaw for wayleaves. The Democratic Alliance welcomes the new wayleaf bylaw. For far too long, we have seen private companies, particularly fibre companies, digging up our roads and road reserves and then leaving gaping holes that stay like that for months with seemingly little to no consequences. Unfortunately, it's not only private companies that do this, but also our very own city entities within the city, such as Joburg Water and City Power. This causes a danger to motorists, cyclists, and pedestrians alike. In addition to this, we have often seen services being disrupted for lengthy periods of time due to negligent trenches hitting service lines. This bylaw seeks to address this. The DA welcomes Chapter 67, particularly in the bylaw, which ensures that there will be financial penalties for non-compliant contractors, and in certain cases, payments from the city entities and organs of states can be withheld due to non-compliance. The DA notes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Ndlela.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The committee requests the council to approve the amendment of the wayleaf bylaws. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillors, the recommendations are on pages 77.4. Is the item agreed to? Thank you.
We move to item 78, which is a report regarding amendment and review of the City of Johannesburg Ombudsman bylaw for 2014. Sorry.
Councillor Baloy.
Thank you very much, Chair. Greetings to the chairperson and the chief whip of the mighty EFF, our MMCs, all councillors, all our guests in our midst. I rise on item number 78. Speaker, as the economic freedom fighters, I would like to take this time to reflect on the report, of which we fully agree on this report. Speaker, if we really want to see change in Johannesburg, we need to look at to make the office of the ombudsman to be independent so that it can act efficient and effective. The review of the bylaws is important as it covers offenses, penalties, consequences regarding the non-compliance within the provision of the bylaws. The 20th is outdated, and as the economic freedom fighters, we approve its reviewal. In its review, we should consider the people first. All internal and external structures as suggested in the report, but extend more on the side of the local newspapers. When I say local newspapers, I'm not talking about the Herald or whatever. I'm talking about local as for people. And also faced with poor performing entities that spend allocated money but produce no result. We have heard from the previous speakers. It is time we empower Office of Ombudsman. The economic freedom fighters approved this report without a doubt. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, councillors. Councillors, I beg of you just to grant me 2 minutes. There is a little bit that comes from the chair of chairs, so I'm just trying to sort those out. The ombudsman report. Can I just have a minute? Thank you. Thank you, councillors, and thank you for your patience. There was a bit of a small bit of a neglect on my end to actually put in place someone that can act on my behalf. In as far as coming back to the item, we were at item 78, and then we just had Councillor. No, we had Councillor Baloy speak, and may I ask then Councillor Rafferty to rise on my behalf? Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair of Chairs. We recommend that Council approves the process for amendment and review of the Ombudsman's policy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. The recommendations, they are on page 77.4. Is the item agreed to? Thank you.
We move to item 79, which is a report on the establishment of the ward committees for the term of 2022 to 2026 resubmission.
Councillor Rafferty.
Thanks, Acting Speaker. The item is for information.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mhlongo.
Thank you very much, Speaker. On behalf of COC, I ask the Council to note the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Is the item noted?
Sorry, Speaker.
Councillor? Bidcow, is Councillor Bidcow?
Speaker, I had my name down.
Oh, Councillor Bidcow, I see that. My humblest apologies. My humblest apologies. Can we, because now we've already noted the item, would you like to? Yes, it's important that you also be heard because you are on the speakers list and that's an error on my side. Please do read your statement into the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Firstly, this item was brought to Council by all call, and I feel it should have been brought by rules. It gives a whole long litany on the election process of ward committees and everything around this process. However, when it comes to the most crucial item, it mentions it in 3 lines that a revamp is necessary of the structure. The most important issue here is the code of conduct and the associated penalties. Right now, the code of conduct is very clear that ward committee members need to escalate issues through the ward councillor. It also states that ward committee members are not to pursue party politics within this space. But then the code of conduct becomes totally and utterly silent when it comes to consequences. The only consequence resulting in dismissal of a ward committee member is if he or she misses 3 committee meetings without a leave of absence. So all other misdemeanors carry no penalties. This includes missing all inductions, training, even undermining the ward councillor. Speaker, there are some serious loopholes in the setup of ward committees that need to be included and urgently addressed by your office. Speaker, let me state here that I appreciate the balanced and fair way that you have handled this meeting in comparison to prior meetings. You have managed to raise the standard of interaction in this House. With regards to this item, can I ask that you ensure that the code of conduct is re-examined and updated by the Speaker's office? I thank you.
Just so that we can do it properly. But before I do that, Councillor Rafferty.
Thanks, Acting Speaker. Now we're in full agreement with Councillor Bidcow. as the OCOL committee, we have actually recommended in our meeting that this particular review must go to the Rules Committee that will speak to what he has mentioned now. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mhlongo?
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. I ask the Council on behalf of COC to approve the report. Thank you.
The report is for noting. Is the report noted? Thank you.
Item 80 is the 2023-24 Integrated Development Plan, which is the IDP, for public consultation.
Let me take the hand in the back there. Please proceed, Councillor.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure if I'm lost. Are we still on that item 79? Are we dealing with it fairly? Because if you look at item 79, I'm the first speaker on there. What is happening? We can't be tired, it's still too early.
You
I'm
are
the
quite
first.
correct. You are quite correct, Councillor.
Yes.
You spoke on item 78.
Yes, this is 79.
And we took it that you had spoken on item
No,
79.
no, it's a separate items.
Would you then like to speak on the item?
Definitely.
Pardon?
Definitely.
Okay, thanks. Councillors, I beg your sincere indulgence. Councillor Rafferty?
Thank you, Acting Speaker. We trending on very, very dangerous grounds now. We've already passed the item and noted, and you have indicated your apology for the omission of that. It's already written into record. It will be incorrect for us to follow that route.
I note what you are saying, Councillor Rafferty. It's just that, I don't want to be suppressing speakers, especially when their names are on the list. I actually took the liberty of going back to accommodate Councillor Bidkow, and I think we should, by the same measure, extend that to the councillor whose name was there for speaking and who I erroneously omitted. I accept full responsibility for this error, and I beg the indulgence of this council for the sake of fairness, if we can allow for the council to speak on the item. It is for noting. I will then request again that we note the item after he has spoken, if that is fine with the House. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor. Please proceed.
Thank you very much, Chair, for your understanding. I've been raising hand for a long time. You didn't pick it up, but finally you agreed to give me the opportunity.
Just to confirm, you are speaking on item 79.
Yes, I rise on item 79. Greetings to the chairperson, chief whip of the 29 battalions, our MMC, speaker, all councillors representing the marginalized, and all our guests in our midst today. Speaker, allow me to start by congratulating our new executive mayor and the new executive committee. I stand before you here and I'm happy now that critical thinkers are sitting at the African table. Maibuye, Johannesburg City, Maibuye. The spirit of Mama Madikizela Winnie Mandela, Stephen Bantu Biko, Chris Tembisile Hani must be smiling while looking down on us today, because the African child will be looked after. We are disturbed by the conflict that arose during the ward committee election, which made it impossible for some of the wards to proceed with elections. The economic freedom fighters congratulate all the wards that has a smooth running of the election and hope for a better service delivery. The Economic Freedom Fighters welcomes the process to review the policy. We propose that while reviewing it, we need also to look at the remuneration and the working tools of the ward committee members. I salute you, Aluta Continua.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mhlongo.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. I'm asking the Council to note the report. Thank you.
The report noted once again. Thank you, and apologies for my little human error that side. I will try to navigate going forward, be more cautious and pay more attention to my speakers list, because that's entirely my fault. Acting Speaker to Council. Acting Secretary to Council, apologies.
Sorry. Item 80 is an integrated development plan, which is an IDP for public consultation.
Before we go to the speakers on item 80, just a small announcement. There is a charcoal black Honda Ballad outside, registration number JB46KWGP. That tire is completely flat on that car. I don't know if it is obstructing anything, but I was asked to share this information with councillors. Thank you. Okay. Councillor Mosetla.
Thanks, Acting Speaker. Greetings to the sensational and fantabulous Super 29 battalions of the EFF as led by the resolute, radical and revolutionary fighters Petlele, Rasirute, Keremogolena, Patria Omarte. Fellow councillors of the city of Johannesburg, greetings. Speaker, allow me to speak on item 80, which is the foundation of development in a city. I quote Speaker Gift Kukumona, whose quotes reads like, the success of any leadership is being judged by how they improve their service provision and access to basic services. Speaker, the EFF had an extremely successful protest that happened across the city. The EFF proved to South Africans and the world that there is no load shedding, but a fiction that is created by some with hidden agendas. There was no load shedding for 5 full days, and suddenly there was no longer shortage of law enforcement officers. Speaker, the Bill of Rights, as enshrined in the Constitution of the Republic, informs us that everyone has the right to an environment which is not harmful to their health or well-being, as well as to promote economic and social development. Everyone has a right to freedom of movement. Everyone has a right to health care. Everyone has a right to free basic services such as electricity. Section 153 of the Constitution places the responsibility of municipalities to ensure the provision of services, which includes electricity reticulation, to communities in a sustainable manner. Acting Speaker, without these rights being respected, there is no Human Rights Month, and as activists and representatives, we must take up arms against those hell-bent on stealing from our people. This must by making sure that the municipality is properly capacitated in terms of infrastructure. Speaker, this report has not been signed by the executive. And one is asking himself is if Mr. Dada Morero knows about this. And if he knows, did he notice that the scribe has quoted the wrong budget circular number 78 for 2016-17 MTREF 7 of December 2015 instead of the municipal budget circular for 2021-2023 MTREF. We understand that the report is for information, but we cannot be wrongly informed. Your people says IDP in section 25 of the Local Government Municipal Structures Act, in brackets they say, or Act number 32 of 2000. We do not have such an act, but have the Structures Act 117 of 1998.
20 seconds.
It looks like we have another Makwarela here in the city of Johannesburg. Acting Speaker, some regions like A, B, G, and D2 have only been allocated 2 hours to receive and study the draft report and make inputs during engagements. Please allocate enough time, equal across all the regions. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Mosehla. Councillor Rambani.
Thank you very much, Speaker. Speaker, I greet all councillors in this house. Speakers of the IDP that is about to start. He further said that he encouraged all councillors to participate in the IDP. The following dates is the 1st of April. It is during recess for our councillors. In G, councillors will not be able to attend the IDP because they will be in recess. And I believe that date needs to be changed to attend the IDP. The group people, there is a date of the 6th of April for women. The 6th of April is Good Friday Eve. Our mothers, our sisters will be going to Moria, to Silo, to their churches. And I believe that that date needs to be changed also. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Rambani. Councillor Rafferty.
The Federal Congress. But be that as it may, councillors will still have an opportunity to do so.
Councillor Rafferty. Councillors, the item is for...
Item 21 is a draft process plan. Excuse me. Item 81 is a draft process plan for the development of the 2021-22 oversight on the annual report of the City of Johannesburg Legislature.
Councillor Serrani.
Greetings to our party leader and fellow colleagues in the chamber. Speaker, we'd love to withdraw this item. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Serrani. Councillor Asarute.
Sorry, Speaker. I was trying to say he is withdrawing his speech, not the item. Eregidumedi se meara
Leasio, MMCs, acting speaker, fellow councillors, city manager, and let me also take this opportunity and welcome you back, city manager. We've been waiting for service delivery, and we know you're going to push for it. Officials, and most importantly, the residents of Johannesburg, I rise on behalf of MPEG to table the draft process plan for the development of the 2021-2022 oversight on the annual report of the City of Johannesburg. The committee recommends that Council approves the COJ legislature process plan for 2021-2022 annual report of the City of Johannesburg as set out in this report to guide the oversight activities on the 2021 and 2022 annual report, and that Council forwards the approved COJ legislature process plan for the 2021-2022 annual report to the city manager to circulate to all heads of department and executive directors of municipal entities to allow for preparation for the oversight process. I thank you, Speaker.
Councillor Rasserute, the member in charge of MP. Councillors, the recommendations for item 81 on pages 81.6, is the item agreed to? Thank you.
Item 100 is Group Finance Section 71 report as at end of October 2022.
Councillor Nenemba.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Greetings to the Chairperson of the Spetlele Rasirute. Greetings to the Chief Whip of the EFF, Tabitha Mkhapi. Greetings to the 2 MMC of the EFF and the 29 Battalion of the EFF and all councillors. And I'll also like to extend my greetings to the City Manager, Floyd Briggs. And we also like the jacket that you are wearing. Yeah. You are We know the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Mokoka.
Thank you, Speaker. Greetings once more. The Action SA would like to note this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Shay.
Item from the DA side. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Niemand on behalf of Councillor Shay. Councillor Marema.
Good day, councillors. We are now on item 101, Group Finance Section 71 report as at end October 2022. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Marema.
Opportunity once again. I do not want to belabor the point. I think we had an opportunity. Section 71 reports were supposed to, or were better placed at that time when we were making speeches and trying to expose the actual colors of the multi-party arrangement. So I am rising to note the report and not wanting to waste too much time. And I want to believe that Councillor cooked by them. So, but if he rises up and do that on the next item, I will speak. Thank you. I note the report.
Thank you, Councillor Marema. Councillor Nenemba.
Thank you, Speaker. As the EFF, we note the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mokoka.
Thank you, Speaker. We would like to note the report. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Santana.
Thank you, Acting Speaker. Acting Speaker, I rise to speak on item 101, City of Johannesburg, MMFA, in your financial report for the period ended 30th of November. It's Groundhog's Day. Firstly, the timeliness of submission of reports to this council. Today is the 23rd of March, and we're noting critical financial information for the period ending 30th of November 2022. Secondly, the primary objective of MSCOA regulation is to achieve uniformity across all governments, municipalities, and municipal entities. All municipalities were expected to transact in line with the 7 MSCOA segments from the 1st of August 2017. We are the 23rd of March 2023, and the city does not have an MSCOA system for transacting. The information is manually collated and poses a risk to the council. Acting Speaker, be that as it may, the financial information highlighted fundamental shortcomings in our collection processes, a lack of dealing with our sinking fund obligations since 2018, lack of revenue protection, and the continuous increasing in our debtors book. It is a resounding warning sign that as a city, we have exceeded the affordability of our services to our residents. I'm going to stress again, some of our entities pose going concern risks. The DA requested in our February council meeting that it would be prudent and as a matter of urgency that the municipal-owned entities provide us with their sustainable turnaround strategies for deliberation. We are still waiting. Even more concerning is that political interference supersedes all respective legislation and good governance requirements. Acting Speaker, I therefore urge this council to adopt restructuring efforts to ensure a well-run and sustainable city. Our failure to do so immediately will ultimately future. The DA once again requests and awaits from all our MOEs the sustainable turnaround strategies for deliberation and adoption before the 2023-2024 budget. I thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. So that was Councillor Santana. MMC? MMC Morero, apologies.
Sorry, thanks, Acting Speaker. I have noted the concern, but it is important that I respond that we are now moving forward to respond and comply. We are now sitting at about 20% in as far as Squire is concerned. It's part of the GICT KPI, so we hope by the end of June we'll be sitting at 40%. So we are building up to ensure that we comply fully. You might know that we only came into the seat of government in February, in end of January, so we are now setting up systems to ensure we correct the failures of the last administration. Thank you.
Thank you, MMC. Councillors, the report is for noting. Is the report noted? Thank you.
Item 102 is Group Finance Section 71 report as at end of December 2022.
Secretary to Council, Councillor Nemba.
Thank you, Speaker. As the EFF, we note the report.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Mokoka.
Thank you, Speaker. As the Action SA, we note the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Acting Speaker. Acting Speaker, as councillors, when we came into council, when you are inaugurated, you are given a set of books and you are told that those books are your Bible that will guide you each and every time when you are in council. This report, it is called Section 71 because it comes from the Section 71 of the MFMA. I do not want to just go back to the numbers that are written in this book, but allow me to read the Section 71 because the MMC had responded that they are now complying. And I will then say, the accounting officer of the municipality must by no later than 10 working days after the end of each month submit to the mayor of the municipality and the relevant provincial treasury a statement in the prescribed format on the state of the municipality budget reflecting the following particular of the month and of the financial year up to the end of that month. Today is the 23rd of March. The MMC correctly said they came in at the end of January. This report that we have in front of us does not have the February Section 71 report of those that you are saying they are coming, they are sitting on that side, but it is the fault of maybe the city manager who is supposed to comply within 10 working days. Allow me to quote Councillor Masuku, who then said that the city manager is competent, he has got skills, and does not have Section 71 report for the month of February. That need to, you said now when you was answering that, okay, we are correcting, but I can see that there's nothing that is being corrected. Speaker, allow me to take you back to the report that is in front of us. You will see in this report in front of us, it then tells us that the positive net cash movement, it is as a result of equitable shares that is equivalent to approximately 2.8 billion rand. That actually means that when the former MMC said that the 2 billion loan was to cover the financial mismatches, it was correct. The report is reflecting that. What Councillor Marema stood and said that it is a true reflection of that side. A true reflection was that there was financial mismatches. The report is saying that 2.8 billion rand was only paid in the month of November. I do not want to go further, but I urge the MMC, as he said that he's complying, that each and every month, within 10 days, Section 79 of Finance and Council will receive the Section 71 report. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Councillor Rambane. Councillor Marema.
That was good. Go back.
Yeah, Councillor Ramani, that if there is a need for you to go and claim back your school fees, you should. MMC, you were very correct. I have the MFMA Act with me here. Section 71 does not say they must comply in 10, must submit within 10 days to the provincial treasury. It is very quiet or silent on when is the matter supposed to come here? So, and he did it deliberately. He only read one line. He didn't want to go further. You know why? Because he didn't want to expose himself. But my advice, he must go collect the school fees.
Thanks, Speaker. Acting Speaker. We do note the comments that came through, and we appreciate the response by Councillor Marema to put everything into proper context. Thank you, Speaker.
Councillors, the report is once again for note.
We're on 10, which is a Group Finance Section 71 report as at end of January 2023.
Councillor Boer.
Thank you, Acting Speaker, for the opportunity. I'm rising on item. While our city's finances are in dire straits, that we black one MFMA report came down from billing 87% under budget. We spoke yesterday about the finances when he did the second quarter. 22 billion is owed by council from water consumers. There's a definite trend of a non-payment. I think we have 44 billion rand owed to council. Of that 44 billion, 14.8 billion is owned by state, 8 billion. Why we only need to be strict on collecting those monies. We cannot allow that state organs owe us 14.8 billion. That is our income for 3 months without any consequences. Then we see in this report as well on 103.14, our collection for pre-termination notices totaling 6.2 billion. We collected 34 million, 0.5%. What about the 99.5% that did not pay? Were they disconnected? I suppose not. On the electricity side, we identified 2,300 accounts for million, 0.6%. What happened to the 99.4%? We really, the people that can afford to pay, needs to pay. And they need to be accountable because our finances are really going downwards, partly out of our control, but partly because we're not collecting what we're supposed to collect. Thank you.
Just urge the team that is working on this to fast track this process, just in order for us to comply, because there is a reason why we need to comply as the municipality and also identify certain problems quicker. So we need to really be complying with this. And on our debtors report, it is reflected that we have a format that we use to report on or to capture our debtors on. And our subsystem currently, it is not configured to provide charges, houses compromised on their real stance on their debtors book. We also urge that this system becomes factored in when our debtors report is being compiled. And on our creditors, we identified 27,139 accounts that we are meant to have collected from. However, we only collected from 3,486 accounts. This is a concern, and we urge again that a turnaround strategy must be deployed to improve these numbers. Maybe we ought to come to a point where we actually look at our duties on a daily basis when we come into these chambers. We come here, we talk, but do we really, is our talking effective? Do we really achieve what we need to be achieving them? Maybe we should employ a KPI that actually being taken into consideration by the parties that needs to be taking this into consideration, because I'm sure from 2017 to now, someone has raised the fact that we are not complying with the municipal standard charts of accounts, but it's 6 years later, nothing has been done. Maybe, Speaker, it is time that we change our standards and processes of these chambers to be effective going forward, because it has proven to now, since democracy, that we haven't been really effective. Thank you.
Acting Speaker, all protocol observed. To refer to the MFA Section 71, monthly budget statements, the accounting officer of a municipality must, by no later than 10 working days after the end of each month, submit to the mayor of the municipality and the relevant provincial treasury, not just the province. And then, after the mayor has had sight of the Section 71 report, then that report must come to council. So, let me properly begin by appreciating the effort involved in presenting January's Section 71 report to Council in March, considering the lack of MSCOA compliance 14 years after the institution of the requirement. Our investors have noted the chronic lateness of this publication with concern, and I am pleased to see that breakthrough has been achieved. MSCOA, by the way, should be at least at 80% by the end of June. Let me also remind this House that October and November Section 71 reports were on the agenda for December 2022 Council, a meeting that the Speaker cancelled for no good reason. Again, October and November reports were on the January agenda, which did not get to serve because the Speaker again interfered with the agenda on that day. It has taken this government 2 months to serve documents that have been ready for 4 months. One reports, we never get a consolidated overall view until the annual report is released, and that is 6 months after the end of the financial year. So in isolation, January 2023 might not look so bad. But when you look at the movement since July 2022, a bigger picture emerges. For example, City Power made a profit of 82.4.8 million rand in November 2022. Their total loss this financial year is 2.5 billion rand. City Power seems to be to the city of Johannesburg what SAA is to national government, a black hole through which money is sucked into oblivion. Next up is JPC, who have to date lost 183.9 million rand, a drop in the ocean compared to City Power, but every loss is a weight million rand. Pick it up 36.7 million rand, and Joburg Market 70.3 million rand, all lost so far in this financial year. Whatever profit all the other departments and entities have made must first be allocated to cover those losses. Every entity and department making a profit subsidizes those not making a profit. This cannot be sustainable. Also worthy to note is JRA, who have made a paltry 278.4 thousand rand profit. They seem to be sliding into a loss situation. There's not much of a buffer there to cover for the 5 months from February to June. These Section 21 companies are risking trading recklessly, and there could be individual councillors in this House at risk of being found wanting in the exercise of their fiduciary duties that they have sworn to uphold by consistently defending the indefensible. Acting Speaker, as councillors, We need to be careful that we exercise our fiduciary duty as we have. Council approves financial transactions that are dubious, allows reckless trade. Council approves financial transactions that are dubious, allows reckless trading without intervention, ignores recommendations from entity boards, then those who approve and allow such nefarious activity are at risk of being held personally liable. The instability in the finance department caused by the group chief financial officer resigning 6 months before the end of his contract and without seeing his last annual report and audit through to completion cannot go without comment. That the group chief financial officer is actually not the group CFO, to be stabilized, someone, CFOs and the financial directors right across the board in the whole of executive oversight over the entities in order to hold them properly accountable to the city. There are further hard decisions to be made, Mr. Acting Speaker. For example, should City Power continue to exist as a Section 21 company, 0.2 billion rand, and that is greater than the GDP enterprise. Just take a moment to imagine only 432 million rand in the last 7 months. The mayor really needs to put pressure on the city manager to finalize the banking tender and any procurement. To be stuck in the process for more than 4 months entirely escapes me. The city does not employ the banking tender not being awarded or cancelled to start.
Councillor Sadabi, may I humbly request for you to withdraw puppet mayor, please? There are no puppets in this council. We need to get to that point where we...
You know, I'm sitting here.
Councillor Marema, please take your seat. Councillor Myers.
Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Frensling is making comments here towards Councillor Sadabi. Can't you, you were saying...
Thank you. Councillors, please can I call order? Councillors, please can we keep calm heads? There was... who in particular is that councillor? Councillor Frensling. Councillor Frensling, may I humbly ask you to withdraw that comment?
Councillor.
Thank you so much. Councillors, thank you. Order, please. Thank you. The councillor has withdrawn the House. Councillors, we have done well so far in as far as harmoniously proceeding through the proceedings of council. And we've done that with a mutual respect for each and every council in the House. Please can we maintain that? Because it is only in that spirit of harmony that we can progress in this council. And remember, the choice is ours. Yes, we've got the choice. Do we allow the council to disintegrate or not? And my plea from the legislature is that we've got work to do. And that goes to all parties present. Thank you, councillors. We were on Councillor Marema. You were speaking. Please proceed.
No, thank you very much, Acting Speaker. And I want to proceed from where you took off, because I think you've been doing very well. But I am shocked and I'm surprised that the councillors from the other side are rising. Through you, Speaker, Councillor Dilange would agree with me, not that I'm trying to lobby him, but he would agree with me that some of the councillors that are actually commenting on the city were actually the ones that were in charge. We chose not to write big speeches because we believed that what we said last year around the financial mishappenings of the city are as a result of their mismanagement. And we chose that because ngesiZulu bathi mayivuzikazi itetele. Uyayibona ikhokasi ye-DA ukuthi izifele nje. Siyayiyeka thina sithi no, you know what, these guys are going through a lot. Let's leave them. And it is the pain of their own making. Yabo, but Councillor Mabaso, I wish you come to the glue that seeks to suggest that a black man is always a suspect. So whatever a black man wants to do is not to be trusted. There is that hell-bent view by the ones that have lost.
Councillor Marema, kindly take your seat. There's a hand. Councillor Depe.
Chair, through you, can we...
Thank you, Councillor Depe. Can we please maintain order?